Welcome in, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have the Kristen White, who's going to be talking to us and training on Magnical-D.
All right, so welcome everybody. Super excited to be here on this Friday with you to talk about one of our best products that we offer. This is called Magnical-D. So if you don't know what it looks like, it's in this tall bottle, and I consider this one of our foundational nutritional products. So last week we talked about the optimals, and we're kind of layering here. So this is kind of what we would consider our second foundational piece. Now, this is going to be our magnesium, vitamin D, calcium, and vitamin K2 product. And so this is going to be specific for bone and joint health. But by the time I get off this call, you're going to realize that the ingredients in this product do way more than that. But when you look at it and you hear calcium and you hear vitamin D3, you're thinking, oh, that's got to be for my bone health, which it absolutely is. This was a product that took about 18 months to create. To me, it's like a perfect blend of everything. We also have a few other ingredients in here, like sea trace minerals, acerola cherry. So we're getting some antioxidants, we're getting some mushrooms, and you'll hear why those are actually important too to the blend. We have sea trace minerals, ginger, and some turmeric, since you're also getting some things that help inflammation, which to me is amazing that they're put into the product. Now, back in the early 2000s, doctors were putting people on calcium for bone health because you think calcium, you think you need bones. But the truth is, calcium needs friends to really do the work. It's like food. You can't just have one isolated ingredient. They need more than one. You need the synergistic effect, which is why you need magnesium. It's why you need vitamin D3. It's why you need vitamin K2, because calcium standalone proved to be ineffective. It was depositing calcium into blood vessels and arteries, and that's not good. People were having heart attacks. We don't want that. So you need the synergistic effect, which is what is in this blend, which is, again, in the perfect ratios. So let's actually talk about the actual ingredients and what each can do as standalones, but how they work so perfectly together. So let's talk about the first one, which is vitamin D3. So vitamin D3 is actually a fat-soluble vitamin. It's probably one of the most important ones that we need, okay, in my opinion. But did you know it's actually a pro-hormone? So when we get it into our body, it's converted in the liver and the kidneys, and then it goes into the bloodstream. So we can actually make it. If you didn't know that, getting in the sun 10 to 15 minutes a day, your skin absorbs it. The liver and kidneys convert it, goes into the bloodstream, and then it starts acting like a hormone. The issue is what happens when the sun starts going down early? You need to supplement. Or what happens if you sit at a desk too long? You're not getting out in the sun. And right now, people are so sun phobia because of skin cancer. They're definitely not doing that. So the best thing you can do is supplement with it. I love our vitamin D3 because we get ours from lanolin. So we get it from wool, sheep's wool. Theirs is going to mimic ours almost as it's the close to humans as you can get. So just like the wool, the sheep's wool or skin hits the sun, it goes into their wool, and we extract it when their wool is sheared. So it goes into our product. What does vitamin D3 actually do for us? Well, it regulates calcium and phosphorus, so it helps calcium get to where it's supposed to be. One, so it helps the uptake of that. Why is that important for children? Well, it helps prevent bendy bones, which is rickets. So if you think of kids that, especially back in the day, if they were bow-legged, that was rickets. But as adults, we want to prevent the breakdown. We don't want our bones to break down. So it's also good for preventing osteoporosis, osteopenia, hormone support. You didn't know, but vitamin D3 is actually helping control the production and activity of estrogen and progesterone. Women, females, do you hear that? The helps control production and activity of progesterone and estrogen. That is for menopausal women, that is for pregnancy, that is for in any area of a female's life. If you are deficient in this, sometimes your hormones are going to be imbalanced. So to me, this is it's a no compromise product for females. especially late in life females, because you're going to start losing bone density as you age. But brain health. So low levels of vitamin D is linked to loss of memory, concentration, cognition, mood, depression, and then vitamin D deficiencies. I made sure to note this because this is an outstanding research find. Vitamin D deficiencies may accelerate cognitive decline in dementia and Alzheimer's. So if you know you are genetically predisposed to dementia and Alzheimer's or any kind of cognitive genetic issue, this is, again, a no-brainer. You need vitamin D3. It's also the happy hormone. So again, mood, depression, anxiety, get your vitamin D, okay? Vitamin D is essential, again, for the calcium. So let's talk about calcium. And why this one is, I already told you ours is the best form of D3. So we also have calcium. If you look at the forms, we're always going to have the best form. So we have calcium citrate. When you're trying to help people decide, well, what if I'm on a product? I already take a calcium product. You want to look at theirs and help them decide. If they are on a calcium carbonate, it's like cement. It's terrible. They never want to be on that type of calcium, okay? We have the best form. Tell them to look at theirs. If it's a calcium carbonate, it's a no-go. I wonder if you knew this. Many supplement companies are owned by pharmaceutical companies. Did you know that? Pretty intriguing, right? I won't even go into that any further, but just ponder on that. But ours is a wonderful form of calcium, but again, we need vitamin D. So think of the synergistic effect again. So what does calcium do? It helps, obviously, we know, build strong bones, strong teeth. But did you know calcium also helps your muscles move? It helps muscles squeeze. It helps them relax. It helps nerve signaling, carrying messages from the brain to the body. It helps your heartbeat, the muscle contraction, because it's a muscle, and helps your blood vessels move the blood to the body. So calcium is also very important, and other than our bones and our teeth. So that's the second ingredient. Now let's talk about magnesium. Magnesium is needed. You must have magnesium for vitamin D activation. Why is that important? Well, I just told you we need vitamin D for calcium. So now we must have magnesium for vitamin D activation because it's a cofactor to make vitamin D activate. Without magnesium, vitamin D remains inactive in the body and it's just stored. So it helps with the transport and the vitamin D balance. Again, it's the synergistic effect that makes this product what I consider kind of perfect. Magnesium also helps with mood, sleep. It binds to GABA receptors, making them more sensitive. So you get into deeper sleeps of relaxation. So it's why I take 4 of these at night. I take them with my Renew. We'll talk about that one later. So I'm always getting relaxed. I'm getting a better sleep. And I get into better REM, better deep sleep. And I also give some recognition to this product. It will help with some exercise performance, energy production, nerve and muscle function, blood pressure regulation. This is magnesium, by the way. And of course, there is some research that magnesium can help with some migraines because many people are deficient in magnesium, and there is some linkage to migraines with magnesium deficiency. So let's talk about the final ingredient of the master blend, and that's the vitamin K2. Now, I consider this the mother ingredient of the whole product because this kind of tells where the calcium can go and not go. It kind of cleans up the blood vessels or pulls that calcium from the blood vessels or the arteries and says, you're not going to be here. You are going to go into the bones. You're going to go to her teeth. You're not going to build up in these blood vessels. You're not going to build up in these arteries. You're going to go where you're supposed to go. It's very hard to find places to eat vitamin K2, which is why it's essential to supplement with it. In foods, it's mainly in fermented foods like natto or sauerkraut. Sorry, probably not going to eat those every day. It's also found in real fatty foods like some sausages, cheese, liver. If you're running the Slenderized program, how many of us are going to eat that? So we're not, right? So supplementation with it is pretty crucial. And if you're on statins or blood thinners, antidepressants, any high blood pressure medicines, it's going to block the absorption of K2. So supplementing with it is even more critical. So again, I kind of consider that the mother of the product because we want that. Without that, calcium can build up in places we do not want. So that is Magnical-D. To me, it is a perfect blend. It's in capsules, and I always point out no fillers, no binders, and no flow agents on any of our products. So if you ever have questions, of course, reach out.